Hello everyone. Today I want to share my thoughts on 9 Jo Malone fragrances along with some of my favorite layering combinations. I have been wearing Jo Malone for over 10 years now, and my experience with this brand all started with the Nectarine Blossom and Honey Cologne. Over the past decade, I have always had a bottle or two of this fragrance around. On my skin, this cologne opens up very fruity and then dries down to a light floral with just a hint of sweetness. As the cologne formulation contains a lower concentration of perfume oil, it lasts only about 3 hours on my skin. The scent does linger for most of the day if I spray onto my clothes as well. One of my favorite combinations is to layer the Nectarine Blossom and Honey over the Red Roses Cologne. As the name suggests, Red Roses is a rose scent, but I never wear it on its own because there is a lemon-like sourness to the scent that I don't particularly enjoy on my skin. However, when layered under the Nectarine Blossom Honey, the sourness loses its sharpness and adds more dimension to the sweetness of the fruity notes. Another scent that I like to wear as a base layer is the Witch Sage and Sea Salt Cologne. Unlike Red Roses, I actually enjoy this one on its own as well. The scent is very clean with just a hint of woodiness, and it reminds me of taking in the fresh air on a rainy day. This is a very subtle everyday scent that stays close to the skin. Unfortunately, the lack of longevity is quite disappointing. This cologne lasts maybe half an hour on my skin before it completely disappears. The Witch Sage and Sea Salt layers well under the Nectarine Blossom Honey by adding a bit of saltiness to elevate the sweetness of the fruity notes. It also layers very well under the Lime Basil and Mandarin Cologne for the same reason, just like how a pinch of salt on fruit can enhance its natural taste. On my skin, the Lime Basil and Mandarin opens almost like a dry citrus fruit peel that is not sweet and almost borderline, but not quite, bitter. After a few minutes, I can detect more of the green notes, which tone down the citrus for a very refreshing combination. I also like to layer the Lime Basil and Mandarin with the English Pear and Freesia cologne to add a bit of zest to the pear and floral notes. Otherwise, I don't really reach for the English Pear and Freesia, which is unfortunate because it is a lovely white floral that is fruity yet fresh at the same time. Now with the Lime Basil and Mandarin, I feel like I'm getting my money's worth because this is the only Jo Malone cologne that lasts all day on my skin. I like it on its own. I like it layered with other fragrances, and I also like it as a home fragrance, but I can see how this scent profile is not for everybody. So I don't recommend it as a blind buy, even though I sing its praises. On the other hand, I think the Peony and Blush Suede cologne has much more widespread appeal in terms of the scent profile. On my skin, the first couple of minutes is dominated by the fruity apple notes. Then this cologne dries down to a powdery floral that lasts around half a day. I like to layer the Peony and Blush Suede over the Mimosa and Cardamom Cologne for an extra bit of warmth. The Mimosa and Cardamom is also great to wear on its own. It has a soft, almost creamy scent that just makes me feel really warm and cozy, especially when worn on a cold and rainy day. This scent profile is not one that I naturally gravitate towards, but this bottle was a gift, and I'm very happy that it will last a long time. Another combination I enjoy is to layer the Mimosa and Cardamom over the Red Roses Cologne. Now, unlike Red Roses, I don't mind wearing the Rose Blush Cologne on its own. This was a limited edition issue, and on my skin, the sweet lychee notes are as prominent as the rose itself. Even though the Rose Blush works a lot better than Red Roses for my skin, I don't find rose variations from Jo Malone to be special enough to warrant the price. And given the lack of longevity, there are plenty of other rose fragrances in the market. The last Jo Malone bottle I own is the White Jasmine and Mint Cologne. On my skin, this reminds me of jasmine tea, where the mint is more sweet than refreshing. I like it, but I wouldn't miss it once I finish this bottle, which is a good thing since this fragrance has been discontinued. If you have any favorites, please share in a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching.